Hey, Chris Pre with another Motivational Monday. Here we are in the fall of 21. Guess what? Your 22 plan starts right now. Your 22 financial, personal, physical plan starts right now. I've chatted with our high six associates and our other higher level associates, and we're having them all work on their business plans for October. I've done that now for a couple decades. And what I found and I want to share with you today is a little bit about what ruts you might be in, we all might be in, as we go ahead and go through our 22 planning. Because what rut we might be in, whether mentally or other, and I'll talk about habits in a second, will absolutely limit us and in some cases stifle us when we go to do our 22 plan. So think about your limitations that might get in your way, and let me see if we can rip those apart right now. What might hold us back as we go into our plans? Because when I say rut, let me just explain a little bit, give you some context. We all have a comfort zone, whether we want to admit it or not, right? Even if you don't love something, you might be in a particular comfort zone because it's just familiarity. We're programmed for survival. If you go back to animals to this day, they have a certain path that they probably take. If you live out in the woods or even in your present yard, you probably see animals going back and forth on a certain path. I do, whether it's a freaking rabbit or if I'm up in Vermont and it's a bear, it doesn't matter. They are programmed to go on a certain path. And as you think bigger, surround yourself with bigger, expand or disrupt your rut or your comfort zone, you dramatically change your lifestyle and the financial piece that comes with that. So what we worked on with one of the High Six Mastermind calls recently was, okay, if we know we are all like animals, like creatures of habit, we know that we all can be stuck in a rut, we can do the same thing day in and day out without even realizing it. If we know that because it's comfortable, what can we do to expand or disrupt that? So this is what we're going to talk about for a little bit here. What can we do to expand or disrupt that so that our 22 plan, and frankly, every year if you do this, you can parlay yourself into some stratosphere that you didn't even think was possible. I'm going to give you some ideas here, some very applicable nuggets that I'd ask you to, or invite you to do, literally right after you get done the video. One is to pay attention to the language you use. This is a simple one. Recently, I went to a buddy of mine who was a conventional doctor who opened up his own practice, and he's always been more on the natural pathology route, but he also has some really cool technology to get you thinking, to get you working on different parts of your body proactively. And he put me through this infrared scan. And just by going to him and talking through this, I started paying attention to the language we use. And so when he and I had a discussion, he didn't talk about losing weight or losing inches, which is the conversation we had. He started talking about being fit. He started talking about longevity. Just those words versus, oh, I gotta lose inches or I gotta lose pounds. Totally different. The language you use will limit you or propel you to the next level. Two, be super clear and articulate with where you're going. Yesterday, in another High Six Mastermind call, not relative to the rut, I talked about the 3 words that are absolutely key for any successful person, and it came from a CEO of a very large company, and those words are, I am clear. Simple. I am clear. So number 1 is the language you use, and number 2 is to be able to articulate super clear where you're going. What can hinder or squish that? What can get in the way? Like, rip this apart a little bit. The fear of the unknown can, right? Life events can, when you get curveballs thrown at you. As you get kind of on the edge of some of the people you surround yourself, if you get to the edge of their comfort zone, you don't always know what it is, they'll hold you back. For certain, they'll hold you back. So you be careful with all these things and be very clear where you're going. Yesterday, again, on a mastermind call, a lot of these examples come up with the High Six as we work through these things a little bit deeper in the weeds. Brian O'Neill, who's done phenomenally well with us, said, the people I hang out with now from 18 months ago are entirely different from the people he interacts with in the Wicked Smart community to the people on the podcast that he's launched with our help, on and on and on. Entirely different. Other pieces around this language we use and being super clear. How about having an open mind, just in general, and having the thought every single time that something gets thrown at you that you might react negatively or hold back or be defensive with? How about one simple line, we should explore that perhaps, or I should explore that perhaps. Just be open to this stuff. Now, what I had the High Six people do, and I invite you to do, another takeaway here, besides the language you're using, getting a little bit more clarity with what you're looking to do next year. The third thing is, how else can you disrupt your zone, your comfort zone? How about getting yourself in front of some of your goals, putting yourself in the environment? Laura, one of our high six, said, I got it. I'm going to go to the top of this hill where my husband Ryan and I want to build a house. And she did that the very next day. Kami and Greg reported back that they went down to the ocean front and went through neighborhoods where they want to live. Guys, you might think this is foo-foo. This is real and applicable and works phenomenally well. So you get to the point where the simple examples I hope you've all heard, like the Roger Bannister 4-minute mile. Once that was broken, it was broken over and over and over and over. You see it in the Olympics. Someone breaks through a new score, a new time, and over and over and over and over, it happens again. So you've got this circle, let's just say, and that represents your comfort zone. How can you bust holes in it to make it bigger and bigger? Because the cool thing is, when you do it, not if, when you do it, it never goes back to the original. It's like a rubber band. When you stretch it, you might not see it by the eye, but it never goes back to its same exact shape. And I used to wear one on my wrist to signify that, to make sure I remembered that every single time to expand my comfort zone. So I invite you to do that. I invite you to watch the language that you use, with how you frame things. I invite you to get super clear with where you're going for your 22 plan. And I invite you to purposefully, pointedly, and planned go out and burst your comfort zone by putting yourself in different environments that might not be super comfortable, because you'll never go back to the same spot. Now, one way to do that, as I wrap this Motivational Monday up, is to get around people who will help you do that, who've already done that. We have an event, coincidentally, coming up. As of the time this is going to be published, you're going to see in just a few days or a few weeks our QLS live event. All you got to do to burst in a big way your comfort zone is come hang out. Now guess what? It's virtual. We will be live with some of our certified coaches in our team. We'll be broadcasting virtual, and we are going to bring it for you. And I promise you, this topic right here will set you up to be in a better position to burst your comfort zone and to have a business plan and clarity for 2022, so that you never ever look back and say, I wished I did that. Go to QLSlive.com, QLSlive.com for a few $100. It's a virtual event that you can immerse yourself and be around some amazing people. I hope to see you there.